Hello people, we are back at the Hillbilly residence.
How's it going?
And you may notice the video camera may look a bit different. That's because it's a brand new actual camcorder. And yeah, exactly. 1080p and everything. And I actually have a tripod now as well, so. And what we're going to be doing today, I'll probably be splicing in a bit of footage from the other day I was at work. Currently at work here, and there is a bunch of clay here. It's fucking awesome. So check this out. Big old lump of clay. You see, oh yeah. You see how it kind of digging up a parking lot here, and pretty well paved right over clay. We're digging it up. And look at this. Just plastic. So as soon as I can, I'm going to see if I can get a bucket or something, get a bunch of this, because that is, look at that, it's quality. Some stones and stuff in it, but I mean, we'll be separating out whenever we do our video on clay anyway, so expect that in the future, or probably be this video that it will be in, but this is obviously quite a bit before. We found a bunch another time there. Different place, so a lot more gray stuff, a bit more sandy, I think. This stuff is pretty moist. You can see right here where we dug it out. Basically, this place used to be a big old swamp, marsh kind of place, and they put up big apartment buildings and everything, and yeah. So, if I can, I'm going to get a bunch of this, and then we'll do a video on refining it. So that'll be awesome. But today we're going to be extracting clay from very clayey soil.
So we have two of them.
We have two samples here.
One from last week and one from the other day that you got from work.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you can see they're in cones because that's all we had on hand at the time. But I
might try this and see how it works.
Yeah, might have a bit of an action cam.
Hopefully. We'll find out. You know, this is not a real GoPro, first of all, obviously. But it does the job, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just doesn't look as fancy.
It doesn't.
I don't know how to actually set these up properly with the attachments that they gave me, so I'm doing it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at stuff, I think.
This little mangy bugger.
Yeah, it's always around. So we need to somehow get these open.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too difficult. They're only held on by tape.
Yeah.
You can see the clay's gotten loose in this one, hasn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just feels like almost like sand in there.
Jeez.
Here, grab the tape on the side here.
You actually.
Or wherever the end of it is.
It's there somewhere. Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see if I can just get under.
I don't have
Jesus, you put a lot of tape on there.
Yeah.
Where the hell?
I wanted to make sure it didn't come off.
There. God damn it.
There we go.
Cool.
A little bit of sand coming out as we're pulling tape off. Nope. Now this is a much more gray sort of sand that we found, and we figured it would probably be pretty good stuff. As you can see, well, I mean, compared to most of our soil around here, you can see right there it's pretty red. This is pretty gray. Fairly fine. You can see there's a bit of sand and whatnot in there. We did a bit of a preliminary examination of how how it all settles out in water. We did that whenever we actually got this stuff. This newer stuff here, I never did a test on it, but it's a lot more, look at that, very compact. Then again, it hasn't been sitting for a week either.
So we'll have to take a bit of each. put them in, right? Both
Yeah.
the same level. How much do you think? Like,
It doesn't need to be a whole lot,
okay.
but you know, try to get approximately the same amount.
Start with like
You tell this stuff's definitely a lot more sandy. Yeah, something like that seems good.
alright. It's just above the bottom now. Alright, same.
So basically what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to be filling them with water, shaking it all up, and then letting it all settle out. We'll see what sort of proportions we're looking at. Of course, it's going to take a bit of time for it to all settle out and look quite right. So that stuff's different because it's a bit lumpy. Probably need a little bit more. Then it is a lot more compact as well, so kind of hard to tell exactly how much it should be. But anyways, find a couple of stones in there.
Yeah, just one so far. You know, if it's possible to get all the tiny ones out.
Yeah. Whenever I was filling that particular cone up, I got about halfway where I was sort of sifting out all the stones, and then the rest of it I had to kind of fill in rather rapidly because we're starting work again. So, alrighty. So I'm convinced that this redder stuff is a lot more clay content, merely because of the way it's it handled, and it still handles actually.
So you want to?
But it is more moist, so maybe that is why it feels the way it does. But once we do this, we'll know for sure. But it might take a few hours to actually get a good an idea of what's happening here.
How much water?
Probably about halfway. That's good. Now we gotta mix them all up really good. Get the caps on them and just shake them. Yeah.
Even this way.
We'll just we'll hold them up so there's no make sure there's no chunks at the bottom. Just gonna extend the tripod here.
Yeah, there's still some chunks in this.
Kind of worried about that because it was so compact.
This is no problem. Fill this stuff.
But it might also be small stones as well.
Yeah.
Something to consider. Alrighty, so
Yeah, that's what
let's see
editing
what
is
it
for.
looks like.
See if we can get just a little tiny bit
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
there's definitely a fair amount of sand at the bottom. Shake really vigorously. You can see the sand all settling out. It looks to be more or less dissolved.
Not bad.
So we'll let that sit like it is. We'll let this one. You can definitely already see sand, and you can almost start to see, I don't know how much you can see it on video. I'll see if I can get it in the shot. You can see that very, very thin, very light gray layer above the sand. That should be the clay settling out. Now pretty well any sort of soil you can find will have a certain amount of clay and sand and whatever in it. But we tried to pick ones that specifically would have more clay in it.
Like all of this.
Yeah.
So whichever one we, I guess, we're going to use will be determined by the...
Kind of have to keep going back behind the camera to see if I can see.
You can turn your lens around on it.
That is exactly true.
There you go.
Aha!
Now you can see what
I
you're
can
doing.
see myself. You can see that's very compact, a bit moist.
Could have
Definitely,
easily
Oh yeah.
wet that too with the hose.
Oh, exactly.
Big bucket there for it. So
You can see, even just as it is right now, I can kind of squish it together into a little ball.
Well, and there's
It doesn't really stick together very well, but yeah. Our next task is going to be to try and take large amounts of each and try and settle out the sand and rocks and extract the clay from the water that it'll be dissolved into. So we're going to get set up and we'll be back. You have anything to say on that?
No, I think I was just going to try and find some things to put it in, because you're going to need a whole bunch of buckets
Yeah.
and strainers and different things. So
Alright, we'll be back.
find this steer stick.
Okay.
poking around or jabbing if you want with that. And we'll fill this up with water. Alright, so we're back and we got obviously our buckets now. I've got the gray stuff and Chris has the crazy red clay stuff. So I'm going to fill this the rest of the way. And it was a 3 prongs to form.
Don't go all the way. Still need to be able to mix it around and everything. You see it down here? Oh, as soon as you get your hands in it, you can feel just how clayey that is and why we picked it in the first place.
I'm going to grab another screw.
Oh my gosh. It's super sticky. See how it just slops off like that? You can definitely tell there's a lot of sand in that. I'm going to flip that forward so we can actually see what we're doing. I'll learn how to use this thing eventually.
There you go. I want to turn it that way.
Yeah, turn it a little bit that way. And we're both in the shop. I got mine partially full of the red clay. And I think it's going to be more difficult to get it to dissolve in the water. But let's see what we can do. Adding a little bit of time. See if I can get it to mix in properly.
Not as much worry with this one.
Basically, the process we're going to be trying to do is to first of all mix it up very vigorously so everything is suspended in the solution, all the clay, all the sand, everything, and then wait about 5 seconds approximately, and everything, the heaviest stuff like stones and larger sands should sift out or settle out to the bottom rather, and you just pour what's left out into another container, preferably a clean one. We did clean out these containers. This one's pretty filthy on the outside, but it's more or less fine on the inside. I mean, stirring this, I almost wonder if I should just get my hands in there. It'll get dirty. I'm just putting in dirt. But as I was saying, we will get the solution poured off, and then you kind of just pour it back and forth between clean containers. You can just use 2 containers and clean them out after every cycle. But basically you're just trying to pour out the water, which the clay will be suspended in as long as you keep it shaken up. And the sand should be just left over at the bottom each time that you pour it out. So I'm just going to try and get my hands right in here. Definitely having a bit of trouble getting this stuff to dissolve. Is just kind of turning to this and trying to squish it between my fingers.
You might need a lot of water. But I got jugs for now, so I'm going to try and transfer a bunch of that into one of these.
Okay.
I've got one for you later.
Yep.
There we go. I'll do the same thing with this. This might not be the perfect way.
This looks like friggin' tomato soup. So a lot of this is really a lot like gold panning, really. You're sorting out your heavies and your lights, except in this case, instead of going for the heavies, we're going for the lights. I've never actually done gold panning, but I've watched a few videos on it and learned a bit. So I guess this first little batch that we're doing is more or less just kind of a test run to see what we can expect. And this isn't really scientific. We don't have like exact measurements between each one or anything like that.
But it's cool to find out.
One thing I was kind of wondering about is whether this clay, just as it is from the ground, would be good enough for lining a forge. It might be something we try out, is making some little ceramic bit, see what that does.
What do you think of that?
Oh wow, look at that. Alrighty, so.
Talking about peeling and stuff.
Look at that. Huh. That's very sticky, very moldable.
and that's what's left behind. Right? So should I water this down again? So it looks like there's quite a bit in
Oh yeah. Hey, appears we're rolling again. Yeah, accidentally. Camera was pretty much fresh out of the box. I only gave it like a couple of minutes of charging, so just kind of died there. But what Hillbilies is doing right now is he's trying to sift the sand out just by pouring it between containers. What should be at the very bottom of it should be just sand. Then we'll have suspended in the water very concentrated clay. And I'll be doing that very soon as well. I just need to clean out my container here. You might be able to see in there, it's pretty well just very, very fine sand. I can definitely see the grit with my own eyes. I don't know how well the camera sees it. But, yeah, we'll clean that out. Do it all over again. Hey there, I'm back on my phone. I kind of made the mistake of trying to record everything in HD on the new camera. It only came with like 8 gigabytes of SD, so yeah. Anyways, we got our clay into our balls here. That's the red clay, as you can see. Just kind of dripping out. Got Brandon's gray clay ball here. I don't think he used as much material, did you?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Probably not.
And you can see there's quite a bit in there, but a lot of water dripping out, kind of dripping in the bucket there. And we have our sediment samplers here, as it were. And you can see, look at, in case you can see here, we'll see if I can get it to focus. Hard to focus with just the phone. Doesn't really like to focus close, but you can see right there the sand, and above that the gray, that's the clay. And here you can see that little bottom layer there, sand. The rest of that is clay. And these have been sitting for the same amount of time. So turns out I may have been right. Don't mean to brag.
I've gotten a lot of clay.
So definitely that brick clay. And you were saying that, oh yeah, you can see it here. That is the sandy clay that he poured out of his stuff there. You can see it's pretty. I mean, I'm sure if we really want to, we could extract the clay out of that.
But it's not very, not as good as the other one for sure. Like,
no, if you were trying to do something like sand sculptures, that'd probably be the stuff you'd want to use.
Yeah.
But for what we're using it for, I don't know, it probably has its uses. I just can't really think at the moment.
This now is a waiting game.
Yeah, you can see here, his thing is, his bucket there, it's sifting out. There's still a little bit of fluid in here as well. That'll be sifting out. But, yeah, it's just a waiting game to see what we got.
Oh, it doesn't fall.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. My rag was a bit bigger too, so I could just bunch it up into a knot. It's pretty much an entire shirt.
Yeah, it is.
So that was handy. But you can see we made a bit of a mess. That's fine.
It's all for science.
Oh, exactly. Got our camera with the tripod here. I tried plugging it in, and well, I mean, that gave us battery, but I guess I need to get a bigger SD card. Oh well. I was trying to record on the highest settings because I'm greedy like that. But oh well, it'll be a good quality video what we have. I'm interested to see what the sound quality's like.
Yeah, I want to see wait on what our actual results are.
Oh, absolutely. So I guess we're gonna go for food. We'll be back in a few hours and see what we got. So until then, talk to you later.
This is still moist.
No doubt.
Yours is still dripping.
Yeah, how long has it been since we...
Many hours? 2 hours?
2 hours, something like that.
Probably.
I think whenever he did the...
We
watched...
constantly.
Yeah, we watched Grant Thompson do his video on making clay. That's kind of what we've been following along. I had a basic idea of how to do this, but, you know, it's always good to have someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh?
I guess it keeps dripping and ruining it.
Well, I mean,
You don't even have that much water in there.
no, but look,
As
it's
of
still
yet.
dripping out.
Well, look, most of that is water right
Very
there.
clear water that's coming out of it.
Yeah,
You can see.
it's crazy.
So yeah, that's still. Oh, that's still like.
It's mostly water, man. Oh.
This happens when you got 4 layers of cloth, I guess.
Yeah. Works though. I might just try.
Oop.
I might.
Oh, I can feel on the bottom now. Look, touch the bottom there. Feel
Oh yeah.
it's like solid there compared to like right there. You gonna try and squeeze yours out?
Yeah, I might. Just why not, right?
Yeah, may as
There's
well.
a lot.
If nothing else, this doesn't have to be like a production batch. It can be just our, more or less our experiment really with it.
Yeah. There's not that much left.
No. So what we could probably do with the rest of that is lay it out on some sort of absorbent cloth, like say,
Paper towel.
yeah, and just kind of, you know, let that absorb most of the rest of the moisture. So what are we looking at here? Wow, that's
That's not a whole lot.
no.
I wonder if there's a bunch of there's a bunch of fine shit at the bottom of this.
So we might have made a bit of a boo-boo at some point.
Yeah, I think I put too much there. I have a feeling. Remember before when I already had a ball of clay?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
have,
you had like a fairly decent size.
well, I have an idea then.
Mm.
Let's try this and like he did and do it quick succession. I'll do it one quick. Try it with some of this.
Well, I mean, a lot of that is going to be sand as well.
Try it again with that.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Squeeze the water out of it and
But
see
just
what
don't
that
do it
looks like, I
quickly.
guess.
Alright. I should leave that for now. I'll just add it to this.
Wait, is there multiple layers here? Is there any between the layers?
Oh, maybe. It could be. That could be too.
No, not really.
That's sad.
Hmm.
Okay, so we'll just put a whole bunch in this for now. Or not in there. I think we had it before though. Because before I had a giant ball
Yeah.
and it was in like 30 seconds, so I don't know if you recorded that though.
Yeah, we might have just accidentally run it out or what have you.
Yeah. Just in case, we'll leave that little bit. And then we'll try it right from.
It's like someone's starting up a drone or something.
Somebody on the other street is like one of the more seaplane ones.
Maybe. Something.
Trying to keep most of it in, but it's not as easy with this container.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Got a bit of a wet, muddy mess, but you can see That right there. Usable bits of clay.
Here.
Still needs to be dried out a fair amount. If we had like a spoon, could scoop it all up and
We'll
place it onto.
after.
Yeah. In fact, I'd just leave it on the cloth for now, and then we'll scrape it off with the spoon or something.
Seems to come off pretty nicely though. With
Oh yeah.
just
Comes off in nice, manageable lumps.
I wonder if you could just repeat this over and over and over again with that water until.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still a fair amount of clay still left in the water that we could extract.
So there you go. Try that one more time. Take this out, put it on here, and
I kind of want to squeeze mine out, see what we get out of that
go for
as
it.
well.
I'll wash my hands.
Alrighty.
Just scrape this.
It's so sticky, hey?
It's crazy.
It's like glue.
Usable
Well, absolutely.
for stuff. Oh, wasted.
But literally that amount of clay, which isn't a whole hell of a lot, but we literally just extracted that in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
We could
the video says 10 minutes,
there's more in there. Okay.
but we could have done that a bit quicker too. So
You're gonna try and squeeze
yes, your hands are clean and dry. I'll hand you the phone. And let us see what we can extract from this.
Are you gonna do it over the thing? Or
Yeah, let's get the bucket.
just in case. Wow,
Really squirting out the top.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Let's take a look, I guess.
Yeah, mine still had some, but
The whole thing's like solid. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at how much. And you can feel, oh, it's all in between the cracks and everything. Off the top.
let's make some room for you.
Oh, sorry.
That is quite a bit.
You could feel just how rigid everything is here from how much clay is in it. Like all that there, all along. Like I said, if we had a spoon,
We'll have to grab one after and try and scrape it all off
that's-
properly.
oh gosh.
Gonna have to do a couple rounds of that.
Yeah, we'll get
Bake
a
some
spoon
more.
and some paper towel, and I think we'll be back.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we've got our clay balls all into the paper towel, squished up. Just kind of letting the moisture wick out of them. Just kind of squishing them down as flat as we can make them. Just kind of waiting a few minutes. It shouldn't take very long, I don't think, before it's more or less done. So I think mine might just be there already. Let's take a little peek. Oh, look at that. And if it's just right, oh, it should peel right away. Look at that. Oh, I didn't have it quite on there. Look at that. Still a bit moist in the center. See, it's kind of flaking away a little bit.
How about this one?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think mine might still be a little bit too wet. It's pretty good.
This seems to have cracks in it.
Yeah, mine is cracking up there too. Might be it's too dry at the edges and still a bit wet in the middle. If we just kind of work it out, might be alright. Now, if this worked right, we should be able to... apparently the test for good clay is to roll it up into a ball. So, make it a nice ball shape. Then you kind of roll it out into a snake, roll it back into a ball, then roll it back into a snake. And if it can do that, it's good.
I don't think this is going to work.
You don't think so?
No, with this one I don't think. Keep testing it and try more and more.
And mine seems a bit...
It did before. It was fine before I put it in. But now that it's dry, it seems to be more of an issue. Drier.
Well, you don't want it to be too dry anyways. That might just be the issues. Okay, ball. Oh no.
It started to work, you saw that though?
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Maybe it's just a little too dry. Stand that up there.
I could probably try it or wet it just a tiny bit.
Mine's going to a nice ball, but I kind of need two hands. I have no idea. Ever tucked under my... No, that wasn't gonna work. Tried to tuck the phone up under my chin, see if I could do something. That's where we need the actual camera or fucking action. Broke up, eh? Fuck. I wonder why that is.
What do you know?
Maybe we didn't let it sit long enough. Maybe we didn't settle out all the sand. Maybe it's too dry. Maybe it's too wet. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. As soon as your hands are clean, I'll try it with mine here. Got you a ball here. More or less.
Alright. You're gonna do a snake.
Slowly. It's kind of cracking up. You can see. It's kind of holding together. If I go too quickly, it really wants to crack apart.
Like mine?
Yeah. See that?
Can you roll it back into a ball now?
Let's try that. Squish it up. I'm gonna give it a lot of work, maybe. Kind of turns into a dreidel for a second. Okay. Well, it's still got some cracks in it. That seems to have actually more or less gone back into a ball. Okay, let's very slowly, gently. See, it really wants to crack apart, but it's not necessarily.
It's not falling apart like that one.
So it does mold to some degree.
So that's pretty cool.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst either.
No, it's not that.
That's kind
We'll
of
keep
disappointing. I
trying.
don't know what happened with that gray stuff, is it?
We'll have to leave it and sift it for a while and see. But there's...
I don't know what the heck. It's like a little stone here. Might be it's got some...
impurities.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of fibers and hairs. I don't really know what the heck happened. There.
Easy. It would probably be better with coffee filters.
With what now?
Coffee filters.
Oh, maybe. You can see if you squish it, the edges crack.
Yeah.
If you really try to, you can kind of make them stick back together. So,
Well, I wonder.
is it perfect? No.
But it works.
It does work to some degree. We can definitely mold it into a shape. So we could, say, line of forge with it.
I would try and make a little ingot mold or something with it first.
In fact, let's try and make a little bowl or something like that. See? Just a little dish. Just try and, as I'm doing it, it's trying to split. Shouldn't really. See, I'm not a potter by any means. I don't really know how to shape clay properly.
There's probably some fucking fancy thing.
Can I use my thumb here? You want to try firing it?
Like in that?
No, like in the...
Just in the oven?
Yeah, just see if we can get it to
Yeah,
be
definitely.
solid.
I'm down for that. We shall.
It's more or less just an ashtray.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm making is one of those things you put out yourself for now because it's too, it's too small to do anything else with. I can't make a cool bowl like you can. So, we'll be back, I guess.
Yeah. So, we formed our little clay items, and we just baked them at around 275, was it?
Yeah, for 20 minutes.
275 Fahrenheit, and
Well, right from nothing though, too, just by the way. 15 minutes is supposed to be with it. Already up to heat. Sounds pretty hard.
this one maybe not so much, but that's a lot thicker. Probably.
Well, I
harder
wonder
to
if
get
it's
off
not
moisture.
on.
No, it's the temperature of the thing. It's definitely warm.
You can pick it up. No problem. Cool.
You can definitely tell that's not hard. If I were to squish that, it would definitely...
Yeah. I wonder if this one would need a little while longer.
I think I can actually see some steam coming off this with my own eyes.
Weird.
Because it's... basically what we did was just drive all the moisture out of it. This
Yeah.
probably still need to be fired. It's just like
It's
drying in an oven instead of in the sun.
It's still really cool though.
I don't know if the phone can actually pick that up, but it's actually kind of shiny in some spots. You can just see all the little...
I see a little... Yeah.
just little tiny bits of silica or stone, sand, whatever it happens to be. That's pretty cool.
It's different.
But yeah, that was it's kind of the end results of our experiment today.
We'll keep messing with it and get some more cool stuff.
Yeah, imagine if we were to line a forge or something like this, and then just fire it up and let it cool down. That would work
Perfect.
brilliantly, I'd say.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna call this a success.
Yep.
Even if it wasn't the best way of doing things.
Still work though.
Yeah, exactly.
We can still leave them in the shed and just let them settle.
Yeah. So
It's not a worry.
that's pretty awesome. Alrighty, I guess I'm gonna end the video here. Have a great day.
Take it easy.